On the homework, day 1 on ellipses. Did anyone pretend to look at the homework day 1 on ellipses? Okay, that'll be a big no. Do we need to review a parabola with a fractional p-value? Yes, we can. All right, I'm going to make up an example that's not going to work out well. I just about promised, okay? Y equals 3x squared plus 24x plus, I have no idea. I'm going to make up a number here and then I'm going to end up changing it later because it's not going to work out well. So I'm going to put a number back there. Okay, now what? Yes, we need to complete the square maybe is a good plan. So do you want to switch everything around yet or not?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm just going to switch sides. So I have 3x squared plus 24x plus 1 equals y. And then I'm going to move the constant over here. Did I lose anybody yet? I just flip-flop sides so it looked better to me because it match up with the pattern on your sheet. And, okay, now what? Take out a 3. I have no cursor, so that's why I'm struggling here. There we go. Take out a 3. X squared plus 8x plus blank. Okay. Now, the 3 stays out front and we don't worry about it. Yes, half of this is 4. Now, I was trying to stress this in the other 2 classes yesterday so that you understand why this works. Does everyone understand that red parenthesis has to equal this red parenthesis?
Yes.
So x plus 4 times x plus 4 is x squared plus 4x and 4x plus 16. So now we just, the 3 out here is still there. But as far as making it equal the other side, because we randomly added a 16 times 3, over here we have to add a 16 times 3, which is a 48. So 48 minus 1 is beautiful. Glad we don't have to graph this. Okay, are we done?
No.
The form on my sheet, Miss Hoffbauer, the form on my sheet says x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k.
Yes.
So this does not belong with the squared term. So if I divide by 3 or multiply by 1/3, I will have a 1/3 over here on this whole quantity. Okay. Yeah, we got to be careful. So this is h. K is a lovely -47. Okay? But this is not p. Remember, 4p in here is equal to 1/3. 4p equals 1/3. What do we need to do then? Multiply by a 4th. So p is 1/12. Okay? So we just do how about we just do focus and directrix? Okay, can anybody have their sheet out? Because, yeah, I don't have mine ready to go. Was on the list of things to have ready. Your best friend, your conic section sheet for this. What? You've been just making this up all along? Oh, okay. Yes, it is. Okay. So on that sheet, guys, for a parabola that has x quantity squared, that's an up or down parabola, it says the focus is h comma k plus p, and the directrix is y equals k minus p. So we just got to be real careful. So the focus would be at -4 comma -47 plus 1/12. Can anybody type that in? -47 plus 1/12? Okay, or math enter. Okay. It's, yeah. Okay. And then the directrix is y equals k minus p. But remember, k was negative 47 minus 1/12. So type that in carefully. Negative 47 minus 1/12. Math enter. Negative 565 over 12. I'm making stuff up. Yeah, good guess. Half power. All right. I thought that was pretty disgusting, but all right. We're back to ellipses today. I don't know if I made this clear yesterday, but every single section on the quiz, there's 4 sections, has completing the square. I did make this clear yesterday. Okay. So we're going to start out with a lovely completing the square question. And then to practice, we're going to find all of the important parts of the ellipse. All of it. Okay. So what do we do first when we have x squareds and y squareds? So we have a 4x squared minus, there's an 8x back here that goes with it, right? And eventually we're going to need a blank. And then back here we have a 9y squared and a negative 36y. You can move them to the other side, guys, but I wouldn't, because you're going to have to complete the square with both of them anyway. Okay? Yeah, we're going to subtract the constant term over to the other side. And then this always happens to me. I'm supposed to be adding a couple blanks on that side, so my blanks are going to go this way because I'm out of room. Okay. Now what? What do we have to do? Before we can complete this square, I have to factor out a 4, which will make this minus 2x plus blank. And then these blue guys back here, I have to take out a 9, which will make that what? Y squared minus 4y plus blank. And it's equal to whatever happens over there with that hot mess. Yeah, these slides are going to be so messy. Let me see if I can move that down. Someone's going to look at this later and cry because it's such a disaster. Okay, so over here we're going to end up with equals negative 4 plus blank plus blank. All right, so bringing this guy down, we have 4 times, what will this quantity become? Half of this is minus 1. Okay. Can everybody be taking the notes? Because get real nervous when nobody's doing this completing the square stuff. Because I've graded a lot of these over the years, and I get ones where they have no idea how to complete the square after we've done it 1,000 times in class, because they're not doing it. What goes in this blank?
1.
That number squared, which is just 1. But this one gets a 4 times 1, or a 4 over here. Okay? Then I have plus 9. Half of this is minus 2. Be careful. You won't get the center right if you don't watch your signs. Square it and put it back in this blank, and it's a positive 4. Yeah. But 9 times 4 is 36. Negative 4 plus 36 is just 36. Okay. What is the only numeral in the formula for these ellipse things? 1. They have to equal 1. So what do I need to divide by to make this equal 1? Okay, so this 4 reduces into 36 9 times. This 9 reduces into 36 4 times. And over here, 36 reduces into 36 once. Okay, I have totally out of room. But I have x minus 1 squared over 9 plus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, there is a completing the square question, but I did not make you graph that question because that'd be a double whammy, right? If you screwed up completing the square, now you're going to get everything else wrong. So the one you have to graph is in the right form. The one you have to complete the square on, you don't have to graph. All right. All right. What do we know? Center, anybody? HK. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try a little bit different today. This is x minus h, so h is 1. This is y minus k, so k is 2. Which of these is a squared? Y, because it's the bigger one. Okay, so if a squared is 9, then a is 3. B squared is 4, so b is 2. And we're going to have to find c in a minute. But sometimes that helps if you just list what they all are along the side. All right, so the center is HK, which would be 1, 2. Positive 1 up 2. Okay. Then do you remember how it goes so we don't have to actually do it all by just using the recipe? How do I know which way to go up and down? Up and down would be related to the... Okay, but I go up and down whatever's underneath y, which is this, but it's squared, so I go up and down 2. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't. It doesn't matter whether the parabola is longer up and down or across. I still, underneath the y was a 2 squared, so I go up and down 2. Underneath the x was a 3 squared, so I go out 3 in the x direction. Now, you would have figured that out if you'd found all the points first, but I'm trying to tie the two things together. And then you draw a football, otherwise known as an oval or an ellipse. Yeah, that's a Tom Brady football.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what does it say for the let's not do foci yet. The vertices. Vertices are at h plus or minus a, comma.
H, comma, K. Oh, wait, never mind. It's sideways.
No, it's longer sideways. Yep. So you do have to tell me what those ordered pairs are. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 2, and 1 minus 3 is negative 2, 2. Does that match with what we did up here? 4, 2, and negative 2, 2. Right? What else are we supposed to have? The co-vertices. Co-vertices, it says, are at h, comma, k plus or minus b. H, comma, k plus or minus b, which makes those two ordered pairs 1, 4 and 1, 0. Does that seem okay? 1, 0, 1, 4. That's all you have to find except for those weird foci. All right. The center, yeah, was 1, 2. We found it here. I just didn't label it. Okay. Oh, no. Yeah, little c for the foci. Yes. Okay. So to find the foci, this is the trickiest part, so I'm going to write it out here. It says h plus or minus c, comma, k, but we haven't found the c value yet. It says c is the square root of a squared minus b squared. Okay. A squared and b squared were what? Way back over here. A squared was 9, b squared was 4. Those are already squared. So the square root of 5. So the foci would be at h, which is 1, plus or minus the square root of 5, comma, k, which is 2. All right. 1 plus the square root of 5, type. 3.2 maybe. So it's over 3.2 and up 2. And 1 minus the square root of 5, negative 1.2 maybe. And that's the other foci. Okay. Conceptually, is everybody looking up here real quick?
Yeah.
This distance is c the square root of 5, okay? The only reason I care about you graphing them at some approximate point is the foci have to be inside the ellipse. If you accidentally make a mistake and you get them outside, you'll notice when you go to graph it, okay? Then you'll realize you did something wrong. All right, I do hereby solemnly swear that you do not have to complete the square and graph on the same question, because that is just too much. Okay.
I don't remember.
Number 2, okay. Do you want to just practice completing the square?
Yeah.
You got the graphing part down? I mean, we could write down what A, B, C, H, and K are, but then you could go from there. All right, so just help me complete the square. You can just watch. I don't care. It's your notes. What should we do? 25x squared minus 50x plus 9y squared minus 90y. Go, Keaton. Okay, then what? Take a 25 out and a 9 out. And somehow we're going to add 2 blanks over here. Okay, what happens when we take out the 25? Okay, so we have a 25, and this quantity becomes? Yeah, guys, really watch your signs careful. Yeah, because that's going to be H or K. It's going to be H, and it would be negative 1 or positive 1. It'll make a difference. Then this one squared is 1, but we don't add 1 to the other side. We add 25, and then 9. Okay, half of 10, that's supposed to say is 10. It's kind of small. Half of that is 5. Squared is, so we're over here, we're adding a 9 times 25. Maybe 225. Okay, so negative 25 plus 25 is 0. 9 times 25 is 225. Last step. Divide by 225, 225, 225. Whew. So we get equals 1. 9 goes into 225 25 times. 25 goes into 225 9 times. Okay. So I'm not going to graph it, but tell me what H is. K is, okay. A, be careful. A squared is the bigger one, so A is 5. B is, this is B squared, so B is 3. What's the formula to find C? Okay, A squared would be 25. B squared would be 9. 25 minus 9 is 16, so C is just 4. So this would actually be a nice one to graph, but we're going to go with we know how to do the rest. All right. We get to move on to writing equations. I don't think you have this one, so I'll go kind of quick, but do you have this one? Okay. Whenever you're given the ends of the major and minor axis, so you go left 6 up 2, left 6 down 8. Where's the center? Can you find the center right now? If that's the top and that's the bottom? Okay, Left 3, down 3, left 9, down 3. Can you find the center, guys? Even if you only had the vertices or you only had the covertices, the center, isn't it the midpoint? Oh, now this one actually, you could do a little bit easier yet, but if you did -6 plus -6, you'd have -12 over 2. Remember, you average. 2 and -8 is -6 over 2. You get -6, -3. -3 plus -9 is -12. -3 plus -3 is -6. Either way you did it, yeah, pretend that's a 3. You came out with a center here, right? So we have an x minus -6 quantity squared and a y minus -3 quantity squared equals 1. Now how do we figure out what's underneath here for an a and a b? If this is -6, -3, you could. Can we figure it out using our brain? How far is it from -3 up to 2? 5. Okay, so this distance is 5. Going across this way, this one was -9, -3, over to -6, -3, so that distance was 3. Okay. So 5 is A. Does everybody get that? Because A is longer. Where does the 5 go? Wow. Does everybody get that? Kelsey said the 5 goes under the Y because the 5 is going up and down. But do I just put a 5 there? Okay. And going across, a 3 squared is, okay. I don't think these are really that bad to write equations for. Of course, they're bad if you're sleeping. All right. Vertices. You have this problem, guys. I always sketch these. It's up to you if you don't want to sketch them, but the vertices are left 12 and up 6. Right 4 and up 6. Holy moly, that's a big one. Okay, so if those are the vertices, can we find the center? The center is at the midpoint. Okay, of those two, what's the midpoint? -12 plus 4, 6 plus 6, divide by 2. How about -4, 6? This is -8 divided by 2 is -4. This is 12 divided by 2. Are we good? So right here in the center is -4, 6. Okay. Those are the vertices. And that's the center. Are we ready to start writing an equation already? Okay. We just put in the center. Are we good? We don't know which way this goes, longer, shorter. I'm thinking if these are the vertices, we really do know, right? That it's longer this way. Okay. And this from -12 to -4 or from -4 to +4 is how long? 8? How would you figure that out? Yeah, you could use distance, you could just count them. I mean, you could try to figure it out from putting in the vertices. It says h plus or minus a. So you have -4 plus or minus a, comma 6. And you know this one is at -12, 6. So this -4 plus a or minus a has to be -12. if I add 4, I get a equals negative 8. So a plus or minus, so a is 8. I wouldn't do it that way, but you could. Okay, which way are we going 8? Yes, in the x direction. So under here goes 8?
No.
64, good job. Now, this is a mess. I'm not a fan of this question because I need to find B. Do I know anything about B? Oh. How far? Well, let's just figure, what's the foci formula when it's going sideways?
H plus or minus.
All right, what's H? And K is 6. So put what are those foci in there? Which one do you want to put in? This is the foci. So if I put in 2, 6, well, yep, the 6 stayed a 6, but negative 4 plus or minus C became a 2. Can you solve that? Subtract and you get C equals negative 6, but C is really a distance, so yes, so you get a positive 6. Thank you. Add 4, you get C is 6. Okay, if C is 6, can we now find B? No, it's not going to be a 36. I know, I wanted it to be 2. But the formula is C squared equals A squared minus B squared. C squared is how much? That's the 36. What's A squared? Okay, work that backwards. What's 36 minus 64? Somebody? Okay, if I divide them both by negative 1, I have 28 equals B squared. That's disgusting. That B is up and down the square root of 28. So it's somewhere up here and somewhere down here. But if all I have to do is write the equation, what goes over here? That was pretty good. I'm quite proud of that one. What goes in here, guys? Yeah, it's B squared, so it would just be a 28. I don't think that's on the quiz. Where I give you the foci, that one was kind of icky. All right, this one I think we can do. This I would put on a quiz. If we know the vertices are at negative 2, negative 4, and negative 2, positive 8, what can we find first? Okay, the midpoint. Negative 2 plus negative 2, negative 4 plus 8. Negative 2 plus negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So the center is at negative 2, 2. So there's H and there's K. Halfway there. Okay, can we find A? If this is negative 2, 8, and this is negative 2, 2, how far apart are those? 6 units, and that's A. Guess what? We already know B. Anybody remember what the minor axis is? This is the major axis because it went from vertice to vertice. And how long was the major axis total? 12. So if the minor axis going this way is a total of 10, how far does it go each way?
5.
So what's B? B squared is 25, B is 5. Yep, you guys are on the right track. Okay, so A was 6, B was 5. So can we write the equation? Okay. X minus H squared, Y minus K squared equals 1. Now we got to be a little bit careful. A squared is 36 and B squared is 25, but we got to put them in the right spot. Okay, A is the 6. Which way was it going 6? Up and down, which means it goes under the Y. Okay. It just, whatever number goes up and down, it goes under the Y because up and down is the Y value. I'm going to skip 5 because I don't think it's on the quiz and I want to get to eccentricity, okay? Okay, eccentricity. Eccentricity of an ellipse is the ratio of C to A. This value will always be between 0 and 1, and it is determined how circular or stretched the ellipse will be. I just want to go skip to this slide. So do you remember as I moved this, remember yesterday up here? I moved those magnets really close together and we got what? When they were the same point, I got a circle, yes? The further apart I stretched them, the more oval it was. So E tells you if E is 0, okay, it's a perfect circle. They're on top of each other. If E is almost fully stretched out, if E were 1, it would be a line, or actually, if E were 1, it would be a parabola. But it's stretched out, okay? The closer E is to 0, the more round it is. The closer E is to 1, the more stretched it is. Take your sheet, flip it over, and find where it says eccentricity. Actually, it says eccentricity of hyperbolas, but it's eccentricity of everything. Do you find it on there? Because I don't want you to tell me it's not on there. It says, another characteristic that can be used to describe a hyperbola is the eccentricity. The formula for eccentricity is the same for all conics, E equals C over A. See that on there? Okay, E equals C over A. So that formula is on there. It's the same for all of them. Then it says, recall for an ellipse, the eccentricity is greater than 0 and less than 1. All right, so that piece of information is on there as well. So going back here, the eccentricity equals C over A, which is the distance between the foci divided by the distance between the vertices. Now, a parabola only has one focus point, so the parabola has an eccentricity of exactly 1. I used to make everybody memorize that. We didn't put it on the quiz this time. Okay. This formula, though, it's on your sheet. Everybody good? Do you know how to find C? Is the recipe for C already on your sheet? Do you know how to find A? The recipe for A already on your sheet? So all you got to do is tell me this eccentricity number. If E is 0, then it's a circle. If E is 1, it's a parabola. This information is on your sheet, though. Do you want me to read it to you one more time? It said, the eccentricity is greater than 0 and less than 1 for an ellipse. Okay? So just check your answer at the end that you get a number between 0 and 1 today for when we do ellipses. All right, determine the eccentricity of this. And this is how I asked it, guys. I just gave you, and I said find the eccentricity. We need E equals C over A. Can anybody tell me what A is at least?
10.
Yes, this is A squared, so A is 10. Okay. How do we find C for an ellipse? Because it's different for everyone. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. Yep. Then we got a square root. So we're going to have 100 minus 9. So C is going to be the square root of 91. So we put that in and we get the eccentricity is the square root of 91 over 10. Somebody divide that, please. I said show your exact calculations, but then I had you change it to a decimal. It's going to be 0.8 something, 9. What'd you get? Okay. Someone else get that? Okay. What can you tell me about that? Hmm? Yes, it is really stretchy. And this one stretches in the X direction, so it would be very long and skinny in the X direction. All right, you have these two? Okay, so practice finding eccentricity. E equals C over A, and it has to be a number between 0 and 1. Okay, A is 5. So C is what? 25 minus 16, which is, so E is, okay, and it does say that you can report it as a decimal, so it would be 0.6 or 0.60 if you went two places. That one is much closer to round, right? And it's still longer in the X direction. All right, what about this guy? A? Which way does this one go, by the way?
Up and down.
Yeah, this is longer in the Y direction because it's underneath here. So it's going up and down this way, but we can figure out how rounded it. Oh yeah, that's clearly a ellipse. A is 8. So C is the square root of 55. So E is C over A, or approximately 0.92. So it's actually very long and skinny this way, right? Nope, E is not hard. E is helpful later to determine when we do polars too. Yes. I think on this sheet, the directions on the quiz say, show exact calculations, but then answer to the nearest hundredth. Because if you write square root of 55 over 8, most of you aren't going to know, did you really get a number that works? By dividing it out, what is it supposed to be again? Between 0 and 1. Okay. All right, there's a couple applications on 6B. I don't know if I talked about applications with this class yesterday. Has anybody ever been where you could whisper and you could hear it somewhere else really clearly in the room? Like the Capitol building has one place I know. It's called a whispering gallery, and it means it's in the shape of an ellipse. Okay, so, and where those points are where you can stand and hear somebody is a focus. It's crazy. Okay, the room is 84 feet long. So that's the major axis, right, guys? I think so. And it's 46 feet wide up and down. So that's the minor axis. It says, write an equation modeling the shape of the room. Assume the center is at the origin and the major axis is horizontal. Ooh, I even drew it right. Okay, so if we put the center at the origin, what would the equation look like? This is 0, 0. Okay, and how far is it going in the x either way? That's in the y.
Never mind.
Okay, the y is 23 up and 23 down, and the x across is 42 and 42, half of the major and minor axis. Are we good? Right, Nolan? So underneath the x, what are we going to put? 42 squared, isn't it? I'm just going to write 42 squared. And in the y, we'd have 23 squared, which is 529, you're telling me? Okay. I'm just going to leave it. What?
Oh, is that just...
Yeah, because A is the distance in either direction. Okay, find the foci. C squared equals what? Okay, so now I need some typing. What's 42 squared minus 23 squared? Okay, so that's C. Which axis are the foci on? Always the major axis. In this picture, the major axis is this way. And they go out that far, square root of 1, 2, 3, 5, in either direction. So they would be at plus or minus the square root of 1, 2, 3, 5, 0. And it might simplify, but I really don't care today. Can someone tell me what the square root of that is? 35.1. So is it staying inside of the ellipse? Yes. Okay. Because it's less than 42 either way. Honestly, there's not an application problem on the quiz. So what do you want me to talk about? You're funny. I don't think I don't think there's actually one like this on the homework. I think I took it off. So if they gave you the eccentricity and you had to work backwards, that would be kind of a pain. No, it's next week. All right, did everybody pick up the updated homework check at the back? Okay. The updated homework check is just because we're not having a quiz this week, so I added 7.2 to it. Okay. Nobody has question? Yeah, I feel like my slides are so messy today, but we managed to